do you believe that you have athlete's foot or feet? Did someone tell you this? Did the doctor tell you that you had athlete's foot or feet? Well, let's take this very simple and very basic. What is athlete's feet or foot? Well, when I was a young man growing up, a child at first, being in sports, martial arts most of my life, you would always hear these expressions when people would have stinking gym shoes. Their gym shoes or their shoes had an odor, or your feet had an odor when you took your shoes and your socks off. People would say, oh, you have athlete's foot. Why did they say this? It's very commonplace, and even today people still say that, and I've been accused of that myself in recent years. You know, do you have athlete's feet? Your feet smell. So what's really behind this thing called athlete's feet? Well, it's really simple. People that are in sports, doesn't have to necessarily be sports, but this is where the term athletes came from. It was common in gyms, in locker rooms, where you had ball players, wrestlers, boxers, basketball, football, baseball. It didn't matter what the sport was. Guys oftentimes would take a shower. They would not thoroughly dry their feet. They'd put their shoes on, their socks in or their shoes, but their feet still moist. And fungus and bacteria grows very well in dark, damp, and moist environments. And once that bacteria and that fungus grows, what accompanies that then is an odor. It's real basic. Basic biology. It's basic physiology of a human being. Now, so when your feet have not dried thoroughly, you're going to have moisture, darkness, and you're going to have bacteria grow and fungus grow potentially inside that area, and you're going to have an odor. So that is where the term athlete's feet came from, because it was commonly used and or referred to in the gym or locker room. So it doesn't mean that people in their own personal lives outside of the sports arena don't get what they call athlete's foot or feet. The average person does, because people in their own homes, they have memberships at gyms, and they go swimming and things of this nature. And in the summertime they go to the pools, and then they take a shower and they put their clothes on in a hurry. If they don't have sandals on so their feet can dry out or off, they just cover their feet up, and then they are subject to, you know, foot odor. So how do we deal with athlete's foot? First of all, let's just strike that term for the rest of this video, and it's not going to be that long. Let's stop looking at it as just that for athletes. Let's just look at it from the standpoint, from a physiology standpoint, of it's just an ideal situation for bacteria to grow. No matter what you label it as or call it, it's still bacteria growing in a dark and damp place with moisture. So now, in the summertime, as much as you can wear open-toed shoes, I'm not talking about on your job, but unless that's the nature of the job that you have, as much as possible, wear sandals, wear white cotton socks. These are two things that you can do to help prevent having smelly feet, or what they want to call athlete's feet. Another thing that you can do when you go swimming, make sure that if you take a shower, or even if you just swam and got out of the pool and you're not going to take a shower immediately, make sure that you dry your feet sufficiently. Give your feet 20 to 30 minutes to dry. Sit in the sun so that your feet can properly dry, because if they don't, you're going to have smelly feet if you put them inside some socks and shoes for any extended period of time. Okay, now one thing that you can do, this is a remedy for smelly feet, and it's also a remedy for dead skin on your feet. Dead skin harbors germs and bacteria, right? And then followed by that's going to be odor. What you can do, you take a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Of course, we want organic with the mother. Shake it up, half a cup, in a basin of warm water, and add 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Now, what will these 2 agents do? Number one, they're going to kill fungus and bacteria. Both of them. Soak your feet for 25 to 30 minutes. And while your feet are soaking in that water, now I said warm water initially, but you can put the water as hot as you can tolerate it on your feet. Just don't burn your feet. You can make the water hot. This is going to speed up the process. It's going to soften your skin up. You can get the back of a butter knife and you can scrape the dead skin off of your heel. That is one place that gathers dead skin, your heel. Or you can even take your fingernails, if you have any, and scrape the dead cells or skin cells off of your heel, and even the sides of the bottom of your foot. And your nails, you will notice, is going to have this white plaque underneath your nails from you scraping. What is that? That's not soap. That's dead skin cells. Those are dead skin cells. And you can do the same thing in between your toes. Take your fingernail, go in between your toes, and start scraping that dead skin out of there, because these are the areas or the hot spots where the bacteria grows, where it doesn't have access to air. So if these were your toes and you have moisture in between here and you have heat in between here, and it's dark and it's inside of a shoe and it can't breathe, can't get any air circulated, it's going to form an odor. It's that simple. So my remedy to you, again, if you have smelly feet or athlete's feet, some people like to call it, soak your feet about twice a week in a warm basin of water, apple cider vinegar, and baking soda compound. That's it.